Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook and also on YouTube. It is a pleasure to see you all this Wednesday, May 7th. It is so funny how there are some days in which news just don't, there are no news or news that I think are fit for our content. And then there are days like today when there are all kinds of interesting things to report. So I'm always happy on days like that. As always, I welcome you to grab your favorite beverage, sit back and relax for the next half an hour as we share some interesting news that should be relevant to our lives as a community of English speaking locals here in Puerto Vallarta. And that extends to our friends that are elsewhere but are also attached to the hip to our city. So, as always, a capital letter Q if you want to showcase a comment, a capital letter N in your comments if you're watching live for the first time. And as in new, it'll be a pleasure to give you a nice little welcome. Let's get started with our news. It's nice to read. We haven't had an update on the new highway to Tepic, and it is coming along nicely. The new Tepic to Compostela highway, scheduled to open in September 2025, will connect to Highway 200D, which is our highway, and allow travel from Tepic to Puerto Vallarta in just 1 hour and 15 minutes compared to a previous estimated time of up to 3 hours. This long awaited highway will be the most modern and fastest connection between the beaches of southern Nayarit and Jalisco with the western Bajío, which is the states in the middle of the country, and north central regions of the country as well, making these destinations much more accessible for tourism and commerce. And just in case you're out and about in your vehicle and you see somebody dressed in white with a little, how do you call them in English? An alcancía, a piggy bank. This morning, the Mexican Red Cross, the Red Cross's annual collection in Jalisco has officially began under the slogan Mexico Donates. Alberto Cabrera, who's the representative of the Red Cross in Jalisco, called on all residents of our state to donate generously and lead by example. He explained that this year, the Red Cross is hoping to double its response capacity, and to achieve this, they will work on three strategic lines. Number one, the opening of new bases. Number two, the comprehensive modernization of facilities. And number three, the construction of a new care center in Zapopan. Where is Zapopan, you might be wondering? Well, we have a little bit of extra Zapopan news in the second half of the broadcast, so we will take a deeper dive then. Moving right along, Guadalajara International Airport continues to expand its international connection network with the announcement of two new direct routes to Canada operated by Air Transat and Air Canada. As part of these connections, Montreal joins the list of Canadian destinations connecting to the capital of our state for the first time. The route will be operated by Air Transat. The direct flight between Montreal and Guadalajara will begin operations on December 13, and will continue until April 19 of next year with 2 weekly flights. Meanwhile, Air Canada will also begin operating new connections between Toronto and Guadalajara From November 4th of this year until April 29th of next year, the service will have 3 weekly flights. So you might be wondering, why fly to Guadalajara when you can fly directly to Puerto Vallarta? Well, if you've been looking for an opportunity to go sightseeing in our capital city and the prices of the flights are right or better to fly to Guadalajara than Puerto Vallarta, you might be able to do that and then just find your way to Puerto Vallarta from our capital city of Guadalajara. Of course, these are options that some friends of mine are already considering. So do keep that in mind. Now, this next one, I am very sensitive to any type of animal cruelty. So I was happy to learn that a man was apprehended in Nayarit with 7 orange fronted parrots, which is a species protected by environmental legislation. According to the official report, the possession, transportation, or sale of wildlife without proper authorization constitutes a violation of the general wildlife law, which can result in both administrative and criminal sanctions. Now, chances are you're not going to be walking around and spotting people selling parrots from cages. But another situation does come to mind that I would like to gently remind those of you, particularly those of you that are visiting as tourists. Iguanas are also a protected species in Mexico. It is unlawful to have an iguana unless, of course, you are a research facility and you have the proper authorization. But if you find yourselves on the beach or elsewhere, and all of a sudden you've come across someone carrying an iguana, inviting you to pose with the iguana for a few pesos, please consider not engaging. 95% of the time, the people that are doing this are people that simply caught an iguana and they're trying to make a buck, which is, it's okay. Everybody needs to make a buck. But when people make a buck with endangered species, it's not so cool. So please know that the next time you run into a man with an iguana and you pose with the iguana for a selfie that is going to live in your Facebook feed and 20 minutes later is going to disappear among millions and millions of posts, you may have diarrhea of the conscience. No, I'm just kidding. There's no such thing. But please don't engage on the act of being photographed with an iguana. It's not cool. It's not sporty. That's what I'm saying. Now, why would the paper include an image of a downpour when the headline says it's not raining as much as it should? Is one of life's big mysteries, if you ask me. The fact is, Mexico faces a severe rainfall deficit as of right now, with only 4 dams in the entire country completely filled and their storage levels declining. And while Puerto Vallarta is not quite there yet, other parts of Jalisco are already experiencing drought. We won't see rain for a couple of months, at least not the kind of rain that we like to see that actually works to counterbalance that deficit. So be mindful of your use of water whenever possible. Now, let's take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. That's funny. With Ralph Fiennes, win the papal sweepstakes this time, asks Snarky Weather. Of course, we know that conclave began today at the Vatican, so we'll have to see how that turns out. But in the meantime, it is 27 degrees out there. Humidity is at 69%. And our weather forecast for today says we're going to have a humid day with mostly cloudy skies, a high of 30 and a low of 20. Then tomorrow, Thursday, mostly clear skies in the morning with mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon, a high of 29 and a low of 30. 20, a low of 20, my bad. High of 29 and a low of 20. And then Friday, We can expect clear skies in the morning with mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon with a high of 29 and a low of 19. Now, before I forget, a quick administrative announcement. Tomorrow morning, I have been invited, and I think this is a great pleasure, to a. Actually, hold on just a second. Tomorrow morning, I've been invited by the International Friendship Club to a brainstorming session on what what direction should the International Friendship Club head towards in the future. So this is an honor for me to have been invited as a member of the community to be part of this brainstorming session. It will take place during the morning. It starts at 11 o'clock a.m. in the morning. This means that I will be broadcasting Coffee and Headlines live tomorrow morning from the Joint Boutique and Hotel and Co-work from the Café Rio, in case you want to stop by and say hello. And then from then, I will quickly walk the half a block to get to this meeting at 11 o'clock in the morning. This also means that, number one, show notes will not be published immediately after the broadcast. I'll go to this brainstorming session and then I'll publish the show notes. And it also means that since I'm going to be in town tomorrow afternoon for my music appreciation presentation, I will have at least an hour or two to kill between lunchtime and the time of the presentation. So I will be carrying my video camera and my regular camera with me to do walking tours and this, that, and the other. So if anybody has any particular wish of a walking tour in Emiliano Zapata or specific features that you'd like to see, just share it with me in the show notes and we'll take a look at this as soon as we get to the chit chat section. But first, a couple more interesting bits that I found out there, starting with this one. Hot sale is coming back. This is another opportunity to shop for great prices while nurturing Mexico's economy. This year's hot sale, before I tell you about this year's, the campaign was launched in 2014, becoming one of Mexico's most important events when it comes to online shopping. And Hot Sale 2025 begins next Monday, May 26th. Oh my God, is that really next Monday or 2 weeks? Well, it begins on Monday, May 26th and ends on Tuesday, June 3rd. More than 700 brands will offer special prices and discounts, promotions, coupons, and even financing options. And participating brands cover a wide variety of categories, including technology, electronics, fashion, furniture, you name it. So this is coming up along with that brand new tourism fair that we announced a couple of days ago. And for the hot sale, I will also include the official website in the show notes for you to pursue in case you are looking for something in particular. Now, this is neither here or there, but you may be curious to learn that Mexico's 3 largest and most important cities have made it to the top 5 most expensive cities to live in all of Latin America. At the top of the list, the most expensive city is Montevideo, the capital of Uruguay. Then Mexico City comes in second place. Monterrey, the capital city of Nuevo León, is in third place. Even higher than Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, which came in fourth place. And then on fifth place, the 5th most expensive city to live in Latin America is Guadalajara. To live in, but not to visit. So I'm always going to be in support of promoting Guadalajara. And speaking of, I told you that I had some additional news about Zapopan. And I'm happy to see that the Zapopan government has launched the remodeling of the municipality's historic center. As you know, Zapopan is part of the metropolitan area of Guadalajara. So when you're in Guadalajara, you're essentially in Zapopan. It's like being in Puerto Vallarta and going to Pitillal. In the first phase of this remodeling, which will cost 100 million pesos, the Plaza de las Americas which is the main plaza, will be renovated without modifying its original design, but with more seating areas. Roads, walkways, and parks will also be remodeled with smart intersections, architectural lighting, and video mapping projections that will be implemented in the basilica, the church. Why does this matter? Well, because of a couple of reasons. First of all, if you, like myself, love going to Guadalajara, Zapopan is a destination within the city. For example, because you can get to Zapopan's historic downtown area very easily on the subway, you may consider staying in downtown and maybe spending an afternoon in Zapopan and just looking around. There's all kinds of sightseeing and museums and whatnot. Or maybe if you're going to Guadalajara only to go to a concert at Conjunto Santander, for example, which is in Zapopan, maybe instead of staying in this historic center, you want to stay in downtown Zapopan. And the beautiful thing about this experience, if I may say, is that every time I've stayed either in Zapopan or in Tlaquepaque, for example, you don't feel like you're in Guadalajara. You feel like you're in a completely different city altogether. So it's like visiting three cities in different trips. So there you have it. That's my 2 cents for um, promoting the idea of just staying in Zapopan and checking out what Zapopan has to offer on any of your trips to the metropolitan area of Guadalajara. With that said, it's time to take a look at your comments. Let's see what's on your mind. Do. I see a lot of good mornings. Hello, Tim Bufford. It's nice to see you. I hope I get to meet you in person one of these days because I love your brother. Just saying. Let's see. Ooh, Kathy arrives on Saturday. Good for you. Let's see. Many good mornings. Love it. I love seeing those of you that are watching directly on YouTube. Love it. Larcito's back in town and I'm a happy person. Yay. Let's see. Respect animals always. I look and admire. Parrot guy is getting what's due to him. You know, I grew up with a parrot in a cage. My parents always had one. So I've had to learn to shift my mindset on this one. And now I couldn't have it unless you are dealing with someone who has a parrot with the proper authorization. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Logan comments, it's also much more smoky out there compared to years past. We know it's controlled burn season, but I also understand there are a lot of legitimate forest and brush fires in the region as well. This is correct. There was just a huge fire in, I believe it was in Cabo Corrientes. It took over several hectares of forest land, and fortunately it was controlled. It is bound to happen. Oh, that is evil, but I love it. I think it would be hilarious if the Vatican released a smoke cloud in the color orange, followed immediately by the color brown as a statement. Now. I love it. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm surprised Cancun and Puerto Vallarta were not included in expensive cities in Latin America. Well, Puerto Vallarta does have, Jerome, the dubious privilege of being the city in all of Latin America with the highest rents in average. The city being expensive, maybe not in the top five, but if you want to pick the most expensive city to rent an apartment in or a home, it is Puerto Vallarta. And we covered this several months ago, and that is just an unfortunate award that we get. And with that said, I think we are done for this morning. So it's going to be a busy, fun day for me. I hope you have a splendid day and have a nice breeze coming in my window right now. Oh, no, that's not true. It's my little Wuzu fan or whatever it's called that's blowing on me. But I hope you have a wonderful day today. If you're out and about and want to stop by the Joint tomorrow morning for a live broadcast of Coffee and Headlines from the cafe, you're welcome to do so. And if you have no better plans tomorrow afternoon, temperature controlled music appreciation presentation on program music tomorrow afternoon. I hope to see you there. And if not, I hope to see you soon. Take care.